We were out here messing around with this thing last night. Had to do some adjustments on it. And sitting around having a little drink and talking about it, and decided that neither one of us really like this side mount Speedo out here. It's not really in a good location where you can actually see it. So I'm going to mount it back up here on the top where it belongs. And I don't have the covers for this, so we're going to cannibalize it off the other bike, off the other Sportster. And I'll put the Speedo right back here where it belongs, with the covers to cover up the triple there like it's supposed to be. And we'll get that going. Probably use that mount on the other bike, maybe not. We'll find out. While it's down, I'll have a chance to get some parts for it to do whatever with the Speedo. And we'll get that in there. I'm going to start cannibalizing that bike now. Steal some more parts off of it. While I got the top end off. Well, I don't actually have the top end off yet. Haven't pulled it, but getting ready to. Do the base gaskets, probably freshen up the valves and freshen up the rings on it. See exactly what's in there as far as what pistons. If it's got stock pistons in there still, or somebody put pistons, we're going to pull the cam cover off and check the cams on it. And we'll go from there. But let's get this Speedo off of here. Ready to do the swap here. I got the Speedo loose. Got the other Speedo off. I'm just swapping out Speedos, and because this harness has already been screwed up. And I'm putting the lights back up here on the dash. I'm going to use the harness out of the other one. It just disconnects out of the back of the Speedo here. It's got its own connector on the back here, right there. That's where it goes. Just one little plastic clip. It pops right out. So I'll just swap the whole harness. And then I don't know that we'll be using this on anything else. We might not be. Depends on what the boy wants. All you got to do is use, I don't even know what size Allen wrench this is. It's one out of my box. I got a cardboard box full of them, separated into metric and standard. You're going to pull the screws out of the back of the Speedo here. These screws on the back there. Don't have my damn glasses with me. So, kind of guessing where shit's at here. Too lazy to go get them. I probably set them down somewhere and forgot where the hell I put them. These things shouldn't be extremely tight. They're little teeny things, and you know, if you're going through it and it's not pulling, turning the screws, don't strip them out. You can take a really small pin punch and tap them a couple of times right in the center, and sometimes that'll help getting them loose. You know, you don't know, sometimes people put Loctite on these things and they don't need Loctite on them. Taper helps hold them in on these countersunk screws. And you know, if you're one of them guys that puts Loctite on everything, some people do, you know, use the correct one. A little teeny screw like this, if you're going to put Loctite on it, put purple on there. That's what purple's made for, is little teeny screws. And then you might need to use a screwdriver to pry this cap off of here. Just slide it down in between there without stabbing yourself in the leg. And it should come right off. And since we're swapping out harnesses here, I'm just going to pull this little tab here. I can get it. Just like that. Maybe you saw that, maybe you didn't. I don't know if you can actually see what I'm doing here. I don't have the camera quite facing quite right, so let me go back and see if you can actually be able to see that a little better now. So we got the back off of here. Now again, you're gonna have to take it and pry. The Speedo's just sitting in 2 rubber sleeves. Kind of get a little bit of vibration dampening there. Kind of go up under the edge of the Speedo there and just give it a little pry around it to get it loose a little bit. And then you can slide it out. Or you should be able to. I don't want to change the Speedos because this one's 30-something thousand miles and the other one's almost 70,000. So we'll stick with the Speedo that was in here. Both of them worked. Just you want to stick with whatever you got close to mileage wise. Especially going backwards, you don't want to put something on it with more miles than it actually has. Now, what Harley used to do a long time ago when you buy a Speedo, they weren't set already. So what you do is, mechanical Speedo, you'd get a blank Speedo. In other words, it said, that came with 0 miles on it. And then what you were supposed to do is write down the miles on a piece of paper, tape, whatever, and put it up under here on the inside of the Speedo. Or up inside the Speedo somewhere. Usually tape to the side of it and then put clear tape over top of it. As far as what the actual miles were. Sounds kind of hokey, right? But you can't really preset a damn analog Speedo. Well, you can. I've done it. Take a piece of Speedo cable and put it in the bridge port and just let it sit there and run. Crank it up to 100 miles an hour or whatever and just let it run and run and run until it gets to the mileage you want, and then slow it down. So you can have it exactly what your mileage is supposed to be. Done it before. Some guys are particular. You tell them, well, how do I know what my mileage is? Because I want it to be accurate. Okay. Put it in the Bridgeport and let it run and run and run. Go do other stuff and come back and check on it once in a while. See what the mileage is reading. Coming slowly, but it's coming. Got a little burnout here yesterday, running around with no shirt on out in the damn 97-degree heat, working on stuff, and didn't even realize it until I went in the house and sat down in my chair, and my back hit the damn chair, and I was like, whoo, I think I got a little burnt there. That's it. Stick that over there for later. This one goes in, now the Speedo goes in one way. It's got a little notch in the end of the housing there. Make sure it points the right way. And it's just going to go in there like this. Line your notches up. And that should be it. And since this is the good harness out of the other Speedo, we're just going to pop this back down in here And be careful doing this because these little pins, you don't want to bend them. You just line the housing up. And pop it in there, that's it. And then your what do you call it? Your trip meter reset knob. Just put it back in there before you bolt it down. Kind of hold it. And remember, this stuff, like this trip meter knob, that's just plastic, so tight is tight. You don't need to really crank on it. Then we'll put our screws back in here. And we should be good to go. It's really pretty damn straightforward setup here. Unbolt, unhook, screw it in. And then the best part, we'll go for a test ride here in a little bit. If I can get that shit lined up right. I don't think I have the trip meter. It's got a little hole it sits in. A little plastic hole right there. It's got to line up, so get that thing lined up and in there. Loosen it back up. We'll tighten it once we get it set in there. Yep, I just heard it. Those side mount Speedos look nice, but not really practical to be having to go down the road and turn your damn head to look at the Speedo. But they look cool, I guess, to somebody. Not to me, but to somebody. Remember, tighten your screws up evenly. You don't need to be cranking on one. You tighten them up a little bit at a time until they're tight. Or Speedo. And then remember to tighten up your trip meter knob there. It's got a little plastic notch where it sits down in the back of the Speedo. So it's in the right position. You're not crushing the harness or anything. Alright, let's go plug this thing in. Got our little light set up there. Kind of look through it, make sure you got it in the right position. Like that. Little lights on the right of the neutral. Alright, make sure your little tabs here, just click them into place. They just click around the plastic holder there for the indicator lights. You hear it snap, it's in there. Snap, it's in there. Let's put our cover back on. And actually, let me go grab the keys for this thing, make sure the damn thing works. Alright, let's go for a ride. Or not. Batteries. I guess he left the key on last night for too long. Just one more time. Maybe the battery's charged now. Nope.